News in 5.
News and developments making headlines around the world in 5 minutes.
World News in 5.
Here on Radyo Pilipinas Worldwide.
This is World News in 5 here on Radyo Pilipinas World Service. The United States military said it believed that its airstrike had killed several fighters of the Al-Shabaab group in Somalia over the weekend. In a statement, the U.S. Africa Command said it had conducted an airstrike against the Al-Qaeda-linked group near Sierra, about 45 kilometers from the Somali capital Kismayo, at the request of the Somali government. It said the strike, which it described as a collective self-defense to support Somali National Army forces who were engaged with Al-Shabaab, was believed to have killed 13 militant fighters based on their initial assessment. It added that no civilians were injured or killed in the operation. The United States is one of several countries providing support to the Somali government in its ongoing campaign to disrupt, degrade, and defeat terrorist groups in the East African country. Last week, the Somali military and allied fighters announced the capture of El Bour, a town that is a major stronghold of the Al-Shabaab in the country's central region.
World News in 5.
Here on Radyo Pilipinas Worldwide.
More news overseas. Russian authorities citing genetic tests confirmed that the Russian mercenary group leader Yevgeny Prigozhin was among the dead in a plane crash last week that also killed 9 others, including his right-hand man and his group's logistics chief. In a statement posted on the messaging platform Telegram, Russia's investigative committee reported that molecular genetic examinations on the plane incident have been completed and that the identities of all aboard the aircraft correspond to the list of those who have perished in the crash. Last week, Russia's aviation agency said Prigozhin, together with his right-hand man Dmitry Utkin and Wagner logistics chief Valery Chekalov, were among the 10 passengers who died in a plane crash that took place north of the Russian capital, Moscow. There had been some speculation from the pro-Wagner groups about whether Prigozhin had really been on the said flight. British Defense Ministry also released an intelligence update last week saying Prigozhin's death was highly likely but needed definitively proof, as the Wagner chief is known to exercise exceptional security measures. On Thursday, Russian President Vladimir Putin sent his condolences to the family of Prigozhin, whom he described as a talented businessman with a difficult fate and had made serious mistakes in life. He also pledged to conduct a thorough investigation into the incident, which he said would take time. Prigozhin was one of Putin's close allies in the first months of Russia's invasion of Ukraine. However, it turned sour when Prigozhin turned vocal in criticizing Putin's top military officials and deteriorated further when he led a coup in Moscow last June. Despite the Wagner chief's move to abort the rebellion after reaching a deal with Russia, some experts and Moscow critics believe that Putin still wanted to rid Prigozhin. On Thursday, the Kremlin distanced itself from the death of Prigozhin, calling Western suggestions that Moscow was behind the plane crash an absolute lie.
World News in 5.
Here on Radyo Pilipinas Worldwide.
For our Philippine Embassy news, the Philippine Embassy in France advised the public to refrain from sharing photos of passports of deceased Filipino community members on social media, warning such acts could lead to violations of data privacy laws. In a notice issued on its Facebook page, the embassy cited Section 17 of the Philippine Data Privacy Act, which acknowledges the rights of deceased individuals, allowing their lawful heirs to invoke these rights. It also cited Section 25 of the Act, which states that unauthorized personal information processing could lead to an imprisonment of 1 to 6 years and fines ranging from 500,000 pesos to 4 million pesos. It is stressed that sharing personal information without proper authorization violates data privacy laws and disrespects the memory of the deceased. Aside from the Philippine law, the embassy also warned that such acts are also covered by the General Data Protection Regulation of the European Union, which recognizes recognizes that the personal data of deceased individuals deserve protection, especially considering their potential impact on surviving family members and individuals connected to them. The embassy made the notice after it noted the sharing of screenshots displaying the passports of deceased members from the Filipino community in France on social media platforms. The embassy did not specify any recent cases related to the notice. The embassy meanwhile urged for responsible behavior in handling personal data as it maintains trust, legal standards, and respect for the deported.
World News in 5.
Here on Radyo Pilipinas Worldwide.
You just heard World News in 5 here on Radyo Pilipinas World Service. This is Peñano. Good day.
World News in 5.
News and developments making headlines around the world in 5 minutes.
World News in 5.
Here on Radyo Pilipinas Worldwide.